Learn.
Bloom's Taxonomy, one of the most influential standards for higher education. We use it to measure how our students are really learning the material. Last time, we examined how Timmy the engineer-to-be would benefit from your chemistry course that is designed to cover breadth of content versus depth of content. Breadth of content covers remembering and understanding foundational concepts from your chemistry class. What does it look like to go a bit deeper into understanding for your students? Levels 3 and 4 of Bloom's Taxonomy are applying and analyzing information. Our student can skip across the large body of knowledge, but after that point of finished inertia, the student will begin to sink deeper into the knowledge. Back to our chemistry class, plus a few years. Now you have a class full of Michelles who are taking your organic chemistry course. Michelle has plans to go into pre-med, so she is wildly interested in the subject matter you are teaching. These are elements she sees that she will need far into her career. At this point in her career as a student, most of her classes have been designed around breadth of content, so she studies and prepares for her tests to fit as much information into her head as possible prior to exams. What makes your course unique is that you now would like Michelle to take her prior breadth of knowledge from other courses to begin applying and analyzing new concepts. Instead of focusing on new terms and labeling parts of a diagram, you'd like for Michelle to analyze unknown samples that have previously been matched by their physical properties. You'd like to assess Michelle less on her remembrance of definitions and more on how she is able to predict the product of reactions and the compound structures in her organic chemistry lab. This is the beginning of depth of content for your student learning objectives. This is where the stone has finished skipping across the water and can now begin to sink. Take it from award-winning faculty member Amber Henslee. Amber redesigned her 3,000 level Drugs and Behavior Psychology course to focus on depth of content. Here's how she decided what to sacrifice in order to accomplish her depth of content aim.
So I've been continually refining my rubric in order to better convey to the students what it is I'm really trying to evaluate here. I'm looking at not just are you covering all the content in some form or fashion, like tapping into it in some way, but the hierarchies and the crosslinks.
For her class, Amber has her students complete a semester-long concept map. Here they are to show how different concepts throughout the class connect one to another. The map's intent is to gauge if the students are gaining a depth of knowledge on course material versus just gathering the surface level foundational knowledge. She measures this by having them turn in 4 different progressions of their maps throughout the semester. By doing this, Dr. Henslee is able to gather how well the student is connecting the concepts one to another, or if they are just regurgitating key words from their textbooks. Though the maps end up looking very complex by the end of the semester, students are able to start with a simple structure and build a little each week.
By the time they get to map 4, and we have kind of circled back around and kind of tying a bow on the course, right? Wrapping it all up, pulling it all together. By that point, they have relatively little to do. And then my grading is also pretty quick. Whereas they might be having big term papers and big finals and a bunch of stuff in other courses. In this course, just some fine tuning and polishing on their map 4, because they've been front heavy. They've been doing this all the way through.
Dr. Henslee has used this method in her course now for several years to help students gain deeper knowledge. She now has a way to gauge if they are reaching those application and analytical skills. Now, what if she was trying to see if a student was reaching the highest levels of learning? To go further into assessment ideas for creating and evaluating which are the highest levels of learning, watch our final episode in the series.
Learn.